Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at one of the Best Picture winners from the 1970s. Let's hop into our mint-flavored time machine and travel back to the year 1975 to see the one and only Jack Nicholson enter a mental health facility. My review of the 1975 drama, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, coming up now. Set in 1963 Oregon, Randall Patrick McMurphy has been transferred from a prison farm where he had been serving a sentence for statutory rape to a mental institution. While he's not actually mentally ill, McMurphy is hoping to avoid hard labor on the prison farm, believing that the institution will be a more relaxed way to serve out his sentence. However, McMurphy meets his fellow patients, a colorful group of characters whose symptoms range from being anxious or delusional to those with more chronic conditions. Randall also becomes familiar with the head nurse, Mildred Ratched, an unsympathetic and cruel woman who dominates the ward and intimidates the patients. McMurphy begins bonding with a few of the patients and tries to teach them to find their self-confidence and start to stand up for themselves. When Nurse Ratched notices this, however, she's less than pleased and begins to see McMurphy's rebellion as a threat to her authority. When she begins punishing the patients by confiscating their cigarettes all the way up to physical torture, the battle between McMurphy and Ratched becomes more heated. So what did I think of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? I thought it's an outstanding drama. It's based on Ken Kesey's 1962 novel of the same name, which was also adapted into a Broadway play by Dale Wasserman and starred Kirk Douglas in 1963. The film version was directed by Milos Forman, who at the time wasn't a household name in America, but had helmed a number of films in his home country of Czechoslovakia before emigrating to the U.S. Forman did a fantastic job directing here, and afterward found some success with such films as Amadeus, The People vs. Larry Flint, and Man on the Moon. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest opened in theaters on November 19, 1975 to great success and was a big hit with audiences and critics alike, becoming the second highest grossing film of the year behind Jaws. It's definitely a movie that will put you through the ringer of emotions, where one moment you'll be laughing at McMurphy's antics and the next something sad or even depressing may happen. The relationships between McMurphy and the other patients is spectacular, and he tries to get them to find their own voice, getting them to do things such as betting, speaking out and trying to watch a World Series game on television that Randall wants to see, playing basketball games, and even sneaking out and taking them fishing on a boat. The friendship between McMurphy and Chief is especially great. I love how it casually builds and becomes extremely more important as the film goes on. There is some comedy sprinkled in here and there, and while a lot of it is dark, there are some very funny moments. Of course, the battle between McMurphy and Nurse Ratched is very tense, as the polar opposites clash on just about everything, and becomes even more stressful as more antics ensue. Ratched is an interesting villain, as she's never over the top, but very subtle, calm, and collected. Of course, we see more of her wickedness throughout, when we realize she's ruling the ward, so no one will get better, and even more shockingly find out that many of the patients are there voluntarily, but don't leave. There are a lot of unique supporting characters included in the ensemble who are fun to watch as we get to know them. While each of them get some screen time, some get more interesting things to do than others. Fantastic performances from the cast, starring Jack Nicholson as Randall McMurphy, the criminal who's made many mistakes in his life but is hoping a stint in the facility will be an easier way to serve out his latest sentence. Louise Fletcher as Nurse Mildred Ratched, the head nurse that all the patients in the ward fear. Will Sampson as Chief Bromden, the very tall deaf-mute. Brad Dourif as Billy Bibbit, the young patient who's anxious and suffers from a stutter. Christopher Lloyd as Max Tabor, the aggressive patient. and Danny DeVito as Martini, the innocent and delusional patient. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was nominated for 9 Academy Awards and won 5, including Best Director for Foreman, Best Actor for Jack Nicholson, Best Actress for Louise Fletcher, Best Screenplay Adapted from Other Material, and of course, Best Picture. In 1993, the film was inducted into the National Film Registry by the U.S. Library of Congress. Filled with brilliant performances and equally funny, shocking, and heartbreaking, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is a must-see masterpiece. Number-wise, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, which gives it the A-list rating of A-list approved. That's right, it gets the A-list seal of approval. Alright, well that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTrueBaylist. And of course, you can follow me on the Instagram and Letterboxd at WestAList. Until next time, Troop out.